first of all, I would like to welcome you all to this debate workshop held by Hasanuddin English Debating Society with them Beauty Standard and Its Paradox. My name is Nasha Quilim, or you can call me Chacha. I'm serving as moderator for this workshop. And in this occasion, we will have outstanding presentation and discussion from our speaker who I believe will enrich our insights and knowledge about the beauty standards in our society. Okay, first, I would briefly introduce to you all to our speaker. Our speaker today is Khairulbariyah, or known as Kak Fira. Kak Fira was born in September 28, 1998, and now she's one of the final year students in Communication Science, Public Relations of Hasanuddin University. Now she is compiling her thesis with the topic Deconstruction of Beauty in Femvertising. Well, Kak Fira has many achievements, but I will mention her achievements that related to debate. First, champion of IFED novice category Sanata Dharma in 2017. Second, octo-finalist JOFET main category in Gajah Mada University 2018, and octo-finalist IFED main category at Majaya Jakarta 2020. Wow, such a great achievements, and we are very lucky to have Kak Fira as our speaker today. Therefore, I hope all the participants can pay attention and be interactive in this discussion. Well, okay, without further ado, I will hand over the floor to Kak Fira to deliver her speech. Thank you. Please, Kak.
Hello? Is my camera on? Can you see my face?
Not yet, Kak.
Not yet. Kenapa ya? Oh, wait.
We will wait for a minute until Kak Fira can turn on the camera.
Oke, sudah kelihatan videonya?
Iya, Kak.
Okay, thank you. Wait. Okay, I'll start. Okay, so hello, good afternoon, guys. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome to HEDS Debate Workshop, the second one. And in this second workshop, we'll be talking about beauty standard and its paradox. So next slide. So what will we be talking in today's agenda is that first, we'll be talking about the introduction to the workshop. Second, we'll be talking about the beauty standard talks. Third of all, we will be talking and discuss about the audio visuals. And fourth, we'll analyzing some motions, easy one, maybe not that easy too. And lastly, we'll have summary and the action items, or what can you get the insight from this workshop. Next slide. Okay, introduction. So this is me, Vera, speaking here. I'll be the facilitator for your today. diving into diverse reality that we have in status quo, that status quo presents us. So if we talk about beauty standards, sometimes we take everything for granted, or what we see from in our screens is that we're taking it for granted. We fail to look beyond what is visible and so today's workshop will be talking about that and dive deeper to that. So I hope that we'll have fun and we'll have interactive workshops. So stay and enjoy. Next. So first of all, we'll talk about beauty standard. So I think that I need to say this. The starting of this workshop will be heavy, a little bit heavy, but remember you have to know that, as Mark said, no royal road to science. Tidak ada jalan yang gampang untuk pengetahuan. So it's true kalau kalian tuh harus memang push your brain dan push yourself to learn and to understand. Memang maybe it's hard to be comprehended. Second, we will first talk about beauty standard. Where does it come from? Third, we will talk about why you have to hate beauty standard, why it's always about women, and lastly, we will talking about male gaze. So what's beauty standard? Where does it come from? If we talk what's beauty standard, it means that there is a standard or there's a parameter, the line of what to be called beauty from the physical appearance in our status quo. And that's the thing that we think problematic. But towards the centuries, the beauty standard is also developed into not only what is on the physical beauty, but also it is dive deeper into what's beyond the physical beauty. So we'll talk about that later. But where beauty standard comes from? If I have to refer to gender studies lecturer, Dr. Hannah McCann, she's the lecturer in Melbourne University. She argues that the ideas of beauty standard itu tidak bisa dipisahkan dari apa yang terjadi di histori kemarin, histori lalu, saat the past, which means that we have to look at the past and see the ideas of beauty that presented to us, yang diperlihatkan kepada kita. So when we are being asked, what is an attractive face? What do you answer? I think most of you will answer kalau misalnya it's something related to beauty standard. Kalau misalnya dulu, there would people saying like beauty, attractive face is like Megan Fox, let's say, or Hollywood artist, let's say. So according to her, this lecture, the ideas we were presented at the past has partly been shaped by economic imperatives atau kepentingan ekonomi, such as attempts to create uniformity in beauty markets. So the same products can be sold everywhere. Jadi menurut Dr. Hannah McCann ini, idea tentang beauty standard itu juga dibentuk dan terbentuk atas adanya kepentingan ekonomi untuk memberikan supply dan fulfill demand dari marketnya sendiri. Di mana marketnya karena untuk menggampangkan the production dan the purchase of their products, they'll make same products yang bisa fulfill same needs of the people. Nah, jadi pas tahun 1950-an itu, ketika celebrity product endorsement kicked off, pas awal-awalnya adanya endorsement to products, itu yang dipakai sama industry of beauty, itu adalah white Hollywood stars. So they are utilized to sell the products around the world instead of the locals atau women or ordinary and in general. Jadi mereka itu specifically targeting for white Hollywood stars untuk diambil sebagai model atau endorser for their products in the market. Jadi we can argue kalau misalnya the starting of beauty standard itu di-start juga dari the importance of economic imperatives, di mana orang-orang itu merasa kalau misalnya they will get benefit, they will be profitable kalau misalnya mereka menjual produk yang sama untuk mencapai kepuasan konsumen atas standar beauty yang mereka create di industri mereka. So that's where beauty standard can come from. And yes, second slide. Okay, next. Okay, this is the most important thing. I think sudah banyak discussion yang terjadi di satu sekolah sekarang, kayak kenapa we have to hate beauty standards. Tapi maybe you can add more reasonings yang lebih palatable. Jadi kalau misalnya ada yang tanya why we have to hate beauty standard, kan in most cases intuitive answer adalah karena dia limit my freedom to define my own beauty, atau kayak dia limit me to only fall to certain elements of beauty in my physical self. Nah, you can maybe also argue kalau misalnya you have to hate beauty standard because it's a lookism. Lookism or treating people in ways biased by their perceived individual level of physical attractiveness, and it is unavoidable part of our everyday lives. Jadi kalau misalnya ada yang sini nonton drama Record of Youth yang masih sementara tayang, ada scene, ini bukan spoiler tapi kayak just an important scene di dalam dramanya. Itu ada scene di mana kakaknya si I forgot, Park Bo-gum itu bilang kalau misalnya we live in a world where society itu give hierarchy towards our physical attractiveness. Jadi kayak it is more preferable and give more positive response for people yang lebih punya physical appearance yang more attractive than someone who are not. So you can argue on the ideas of lookism and its concept and its theory. Jadi kayak lebih reasonnya akhirnya lebih fundamental on that. Now, why you also have to hate beauty standard? It's because beautiful people are treated more favorably and are regarded in a more positive light. Kalau dari researchnya Patzer, itu dia buat jurnal tahun 2008, dia bilang kalau misalnya orang-orang yang beautiful atau more attractive physically itu make about 10% more money in comparison to others. Terus dia bilang juga these people are more possible to receive better grades in schools, or they can have more sexual activities in status quo, or they are more ready to be promoted in professional settings. Jadi kayak you have to hate beauty standards because it leads you to things that you cannot achieve. So if you talk about privileges in status quo, the privileges is not only from your economic capacity, your financial capacity, but it can only from your physical appearance, because there's an inherent stereotype in our society that beautiful people itu give more, possibly give more benefit, give more friendly environment, etc., etc. So it leads to them having more privileges in status quo. So second, why always women? Kenapa kalau misalnya bicarakan beauty standards itu most likely women, though ada juga standards of beauty di men, tapi highlights of beauty standards itu selalu di perempuan. Why? Feminist bakalan argue kalau misalnya the focus is always on women for different reasons, tapi we can sum it up on these things. Jadi women are the target of beauty campaigns because for centuries they are conditioned to believe that they are inadequate without their physical appearance, physical attractiveness. So while women are kept busy attempting to push themselves towards the beauty ideal, men keep busy by climbing power hierarchies and gaining more control in professional, economic, political, and domestic world. So ini adalah pendapat dari Naomi Wolf di bukunya Beauty Myth 2002. Jadi dia bilang kalau misalnya kenapa itu always women yang di linked to beauty standard itu karena memang for histories itu women di conditioned untuk selalu percaya kalau misalnya diri mereka itu tidak ada apa-apanya without their physical attractiveness. And meanwhile, ketika women itu spoon sama the advertising yang kayak say you have to be beautiful in certain way, or di push sama the marketing of beauty products, itu on that process, on the other hand, other gender, man, itu are busy climbing the social ladder. Jadi kayak mereka itu akhirnya punya power in hierarchies. They gaining more control in economy, political, etc., etc. Meanwhile, women are conditioned to just focus on their physical attractiveness, and we can say their womanhood or femininity side. Jadi why it's always women itu karena memang it's more palatable untuk jual produk yang di condition kalau produk ini bisa mempercantik kau. Because for histories, women are already conditioned kalau misalnya they are true women, kalau misalnya mereka itu punya physical attractiveness. Like women is always affiliated with their physical attractiveness. Okay. Lastly, on this slide, the male gaze. So male gaze is also a very contributive factor towards how we see beauty standards today. Jadi kan in our society right now, the screen, television, social media, your phones, advertising itu contributes towards how be believed by people who only access that kind of screen. So what is male gaze? So male gaze is actually a feminist theory. Ada juga teori berlawanan dari ini, bukan berlawanan, teman teori ini adalah female gaze. Jadi di discourse sekarang itu di-perceive kalau ada female gaze, ada male gaze. Male gaze adalah the way man visualizing women and the word of women for their pleasure, or of the male viewer. Kalau misalnya dia female gaze, berarti visualizing man and the word of man for the pleasure of women. Jadi both theory itu argue kalau misalnya ada saling adanya standar for beauty antar kedua gender ini. Right. So this theory itu depicting women and the world of women in the visual arts, bisa juga di literatur, from a masculine heterosexual perspective that presents an aesthetic presentation of narrative cinema. Jadi male gaze ini itu terbentuk dari bagaimana the producer dan sutradara itu melihat dunia. Jadi mereka itu mengambil the aspects in work dan mereka itu represent it in their screen, dan mereka itu on the process of that they use the male gaze. They only use the male gaze. Jadi mereka itu argue kalau misalnya women itu maunya dilihat seperti ini. Women itu bakalan senang kalau dia dilihat seperti ini. Kalau kalian nonton series Emily in Paris, itu kan Emily sempat nge-argue kalau misalnya kalau misalnya iklan yang dibuat sama partner kerjanya itu sukses karena dia mau mau jual parfum, terus parfumnya itu dipakai sama women, terus womennya itu jalannya naked di jembatan, terus ada men banyak lihat women itu, terus kayak si laki-lakinya bilang kalau misalnya this is the way women would like to be seen, kayak ini justru bagus begitu untuk women karena kayak women akhirnya diinginkan oleh laki-laki, which is it's a male gaze karena you only seen the interest, apa yang perempuan mau itu dari perspektif atau sudut pandangnya laki-laki. Meanwhile, it's very sangat lacking dari history of cinema. Very lacking of them untuk misalnya take the perspective, the opinion of women in the process of them producing arts, producing advertising, and etc. Why is that so? Karena for histories, it's very less likely for women itu untuk engage to these sectors. Karena kayak they are conditioned to be women yang harus child rearing dan lain-lain. Jadi untuk economy and political importance itu akhirnya women kurang di dalamnya, dan akhirnya it's also impacting to how people yang work in this industry itu punya very lacking of opinion and perspektif dari womennya sendiri. Jadi kadang kalau misalnya women itu akhirnya jadi starting to enter the market, dan their opinion itu di-see sebagai opinion yang tidak common, atau kayak they perceive all the opinion itu isn't attractive karena they just never be exposed to that. That's what happened. Okay, next slide. So, beauty standard, what's the current discourse that we have in society? So, kita bisa simpulkan saja kalau misalnya this discourse that we have right now, itu ada orang-orang yang pro with beauty standard, ada juga orang-orang yang oppositional to it. Nah, orang-orang yang pro with beauty standard, itu what they argue in status quo adalah mereka argue kalau misalnya beauty standard is just okay, because beauty standard itu as simple as just a people preferences in status quo. Jadi kayak kalau misalnya I prefer women with white skin and that's my standard, that's very okay. Terus yang oppositional to it argue kalau misalnya no, you should not have or you should not prompt emphasize this beauty standard because it standardize how physical attractiveness yang dipunya sama women seharusnya. Like if you like women with white skins, gitu juga bakal impact other people kalau other people will like women with white skins. Tapi the thing yang people simplify atau kayak people do not realize adalah sebenarnya the perspective atau kayak their preference on beauty standard yang mereka bilang kalau misalnya I like women with white skin, I like women who are curvy, itu sebenarnya juga adalah hasil dari construction of what you see in your screen, the advertisings and etc. So it is not purely on your preferences, but your preferences is made up because you're exposed to so many standards so many advertising yang bilang kalau misalnya it's beautiful when you're white, it's beautiful when you're curvy and etc. So next slide. So how status quo itu responding to the discourse that we have right now in status quo. Jadi kan status quo sekarang itu discussion-nya adalah sudah mengarah ke you have to define your own beauty. You have to accept yourself. Yourself is more than just your physical appearance, right? But how it is done in status quo. Nah, jadi kalau misalnya we talk about the progress of beauty standard and how people are currently demanded to accept their self and their beauty, itu kita tidak bisa lepas dari discussion on feminist movement. Jadi slight glance on feminist movement, itu kan feminist movement right now sudah punya fourth wave. First wave itu feminist movement-nya focus on women getting political rights, women getting rights yang lebih terleverage di familyhood, di mana kayak women itu mau pursue divorce with their husband, let's say. Second wave feminism itu lebih fokus on the movement on owning property rights. Kalau third wave itu dia lebih fokus on acknowledging kalau misalnya women from different race. Jadi women who are black itu receive more oppression in comparison with women who are white, right? That's what happened in third wave feminism. Now, the very latest wave of feminism, ada yang bilang it's a fourth wave atau the continuation of the wave-wave sebelumnya. Ada juga yang bilang kalau misalnya it's a wave yang muncul on the response of the three waves yang sudah ada sebelumnya, atau biasa disebut dengan post-feminism. Jadi post-feminism adalah wave di mana the the essence of feminism yang mau ada social and political rights dan fight di status quo itu disimplify into individual empowerment. Jadi di post feminism itu individual empowerment-nya itu on the level of at least individual, me as women itu bisa comfortable with myself. Mau saya ikut political, mau saya engage to politics, that's okay. Mau saya jadi ibu rumah tangga, that's very okay. So that's my choice. Jadi lebih ke individual empowerment, embracement. Nah, di post-feminism ini baru muncul adanya the variety of how people campaigning on beauty rights, beauty standards. Makanya baru ada namanya body positivity, ada femvertising dan etc. Though tidak muncul di saat post feminism, ada juga di sebelum-sebelumnya, tapi the emphasis of the white campaign on it itu adanya di post feminism era atau kayak this 90s sampai sekarang. Now, what's body positivity, what's femvertising, and etc. Body positivity itu kan as simple as kayak dia bilang kalau misalnya you have to look your body positively, don't judge your body, accept your body, dan etc. Femvertising is things yang kayak if you see femvertising itu singkatan dari female empowerment advertising. Jadi kayak advertising yang take dan include the concept of female empowerment. Jadi kalau misalnya kalian lihat ada advertising atau iklan-iklan yang bilang kalau misalnya kulitmu cantik walaupun kulitmu cantik sawo matang, kulitmu cantik kalau itu fair, berarti itu female empowerment advertising. It's femvertising. It's only in the form of advertising. Atau you can seek another way of people campaigning on distracting beauty standard. Bukan hanya femvertising dan body positivity, ada banyak juga sih. Okay, next slide. So, what's the problem with the status quo? We will later enter ke apa bagusnya status quo. Sekarang kita enter dulu apa jeleknya status quo. Nah, jadi the argumentation yang muncul dari the progress yang kita punya di status quo adalah pertama, orang-orang itu bilang kalau misalnya campaign yang kita punya sekarang akan distracting beauty standard itu does not equals to movement progressivity. Jadi the campaign yang kita punya sekarang, company campaign specifically, example-nya femvertising, itu does not equal, tidak sama dengan adanya progresivitas atas movement kita, which is feminism. Why is that so? Jadi si movement feminism ini itu argue kalau misalnya apa yang dilakukan, kampanye-kampanye dilakukan sama perusahaan-perusahaan sekarang itu tidak ada hubungannya sama progresivitas movement-nya. Why? Karena mereka argue kalau misalnya the movement progressivity itu seharusnya on social and political arena, in which women itu seharusnya pursuing-nya itu to things yang bisa change the status quo. Change the status quo yang lebih makro. Misalnya women engage to politics, berarti women itu bakalan punya leverage in political discourse, in parliament, jadinya women bisa buat friendly policy. Atau social progressivity di mana misalnya women itu help other women untuk misalnya lebih punya better life, better financial status dan lain-lain. Nah, campaign yang dilakukan sama company ini itu tidak equals, tidak leads to the benefit yang katanya di social and political movement tadi. Why? Because company campaign itu level changing-nya itu only on individual basis. Jadi kalau kalian lihat ada iklan, parallel example-nya ya di movement lain, misalnya di LGBT movement, kalau kalian lihat iklannya Unilever yang nge-post flagnya yang represent LGBTQIA+ community, itu berarti kayak level of satisfaction, level of empowerment-nya on individu. Kayak, oh ada company yang acknowledge saya. or kayak in beauty campaigns, oh ternyata my color of skin itu cantik, itu diterima dan lain-lain. So the empowerment is only on individual level, karena kayak yang diberikan adalah level of acknowledgement dan acceptance ke dirinya kalian sendiri. Nah, the second problem with status quo adalah there is a discussion of whether you have to love yourself with everything that you have, kayak you are beautiful in whatever shape, in whatever skin color, dan etc. In which itu katanya tidak negate the problem of beauty standard. Jadi freedom of individu untuk ngedefine sendiri standar beauty-nya mereka itu tidak negate atau tidak solve the problem with beauty standard. Why is that so? Jadi discussion-nya adalah sekarang kalau katanya you have to love yourself with whatever skin color, with however body shape that you have, itu tidak menegate the current ada di society sekarang di mana physical beauty is still important. The fact that mereka maksa kita untuk kayak percaya my curvy body is beautiful atau kayak my warm skin color is beautiful, itu berarti mereka tuh masih menyuruh kita untuk find something that is beautiful in yourself. Jadi kayak though we have the freedom of defining of how we want to be empowered, tapi akhirnya jatuhnya adalah it's still on the beauty yang harus kalian cari di dirinya kalian sendiri, kayak gitu. Nah, next problem adalah itu ada video yang sebelumnya. Next problem yang ada adalah as the demand of beauty products gets higher, karena kan kayak the current discourse adalah you can be beautiful with whatever you want. Kayak pakai makeup terserah, mau tidak pakai makeup juga terserah. Tapi the problem with that adalah akhirnya status quo itu nge-show kalau demand beauty-nya itu masih tinggi sekali on makeup products. Jadi kayak the production of makeup products itu meningkat. Nah, why this is a problem? Karena di status quo itu dia argue kalau misalnya the higher demand of makeup products itu does not equals to ethical beauty. What does it mean what does it mean of ethical beauty? Nah, ethical beauty adalah proses produksi dari produk-produk yang dijual secara etis. Misalnya kayak dia proses produksinya itu tidak harm children, tidak harm women, atau kayak buruh-buruhnya itu dibayar sesuai harga yang masuk akal. Nah, the problem adalah in current status quo itu demands of the product itu tidak through ethical beauty. Jadi banyak sekali tipe makeup products yang didapat dari unethical process. Contohnya itu highlighter. Nah, jadi highlighter itu didapat dari produk namanya mica atau mica. Nah, mica ini kebanyakan diproduksi di India. Nah, di India itu mereka mempekerjakan orang-orang yang mempunyai status ekonomi rendah, dan orang-orang yang punya status ekonomi rendah ini mereka mempekerjakan anak-anaknya, which is anak-anaknya yang masih kecil. Dan ada banyak sekali kasus di mana anak-anaknya ini ada yang meninggal ketika lagi mining mikanya, lagi menambang mikanya, cari mikanya di tanah-tanah begituan, kayak harus tanahnya diruntuhkan masuk ke gerbong-gerbong kayak gua begituan, dan kayak ada kecelakaan terus anak-anaknya meninggal. Nah, itu jadi concern karena berarti prosesnya tuh unethical. Terus kayak as the demands get higher, kayak the company don't care whether itu kayak ethical atau kayak whether itu okay for children, tapi as long as it gives them benefits. Nah, kalian bisa nonton isu ini itu di videonya Vice. Kalian bisa nonton di situ. Nah, the last problem with status quo, this is yang punya relation ke judulnya adalah the paradox yang akhirnya muncul ke our beauty influencers. How this paradox? Nah, jadi kan concernnya sekarang adalah, and this is very very interesting, itu kan kayak misalnya as women I want to have someone that I can relatable with. Kayak kalau misalnya saya bisa lihat representasi dari diriku di orang lain, I'll be happy and I'll feel kalau misalnya di dunia sekarang ini I have friends. Nah, that's why kayak banyak beauty influencers yang juga punya speak up kalau misalnya your warm skin, your dark skin is very okay and you are beautiful. Nah, tapi the progress atau kayak the thing we see from these influencers adalah they avoid using products that is whitening, tapi they try very hard untuk differentiate itu sama brightening products. Ini salah satu kasusnya ya. Jadi kayak status quo itu try untuk membedakan penamaan atas produk-produk yang sebenarnya tujuan akhirnya sama, which is memutihkan. Nah, mereka distort the definition of memutihkan atau meaning of memutihkan into brightening atau mencerahkan. Padahal ending goal dari produknya itu sama saja. Kayak kalian itu mau membuat adanya perbedaan tone of skin color in your body, in your face, let's say. Nah, kalau misalnya kalian ikut semua video dan intinya apa yang diupload sama Livni Sanders, itu kalian bisa lihat progres dari body color-nya dia. Karena dulu itu we can see kalau misalnya she's not that bright or she's not that fair to begin with. Tapi kayak akhirnya sekarang kayak she use so many products yang akhirnya juga ending goal-nya adalah memutihkan. Maybe ada faktor lain yang buat seperti itu, misalnya kayak dia punya gear yang lebih canggih, let's say, or things like that. Sama kayak black sugar juga, tapi kayak the discussion is still there, kayak how these influencers ask us to accept ourselves, tapi juga at the same time mereka itu nge-push dan mereka itu encourage us untuk use products yang itu merubah tone of our colors, of our skin color, though it is brightening, tapi ending goal-nya masih sama. Or kayak the concern adalah how they ask us to love ourselves dan kayak be empowered with ourselves, tapi mereka itu decide to neglect the other discourse yang kita miliki sekarang di status quo, which is ethical beauty, like that. Jadi misalnya kayak black sugar yang kayak juga sangat-sangat sangat-sangat prompting us to have consumers lifestyles, terus juga kayak purchase fast fashion or something like that. Kayak though dia juga clarifying kalau misalnya it on you, kayak terserah kalian lagi, tapi kayak dan it does not negate, dan it does not kayak diminish the status quo current problem in which you are prompting to have a consumer's lifestyles and you are prompting to misalnya purchase something unethical, seperti itu. Nah, next slide. Okay, now this is the thing, what's good with status quo? Now maybe this is lebih sedikit discussionnya dibandingkan what's bad with status quo, tapi the good things that we can see from status quo itu juga very very essential. How is that very essential? Nah, the first good thing with status quo that we have right now, di mana kayak orang-orang itu nge-campaign that you have to love yourself, you have to see yourself beyond physical beauty, adalah yang pertama, emotional comfort. Nah, emotional comfort ini sangat penting ke individu-individu yang for too long telah tertrap on the mindset of they are not beautiful, they are not worthy, and they are very insecure untuk misalnya show up in public, and etc. Knowing di status quo ada misalnya orang yang merasa yang merasa dark skin is beautiful, itu akhirnya give them emotional comfort, dimana kayak akhirnya mereka merasa kalau misalnya akhirnya I can see myself in a way that is more accepted karena ada orang lain yang berani speak up, in which it means kalau misalnya I'm not that bad because other people can speak up, why I can't do. Nah, emotional comfort ini very important untuk orang-orang yang susah sekali untuk find the comfortability upon themselves. And as movement, as feminist movement, itu sangat important untuk the movement make sure kalau every individuals atau every women itu bisa comfortable with themselves. Karena only with comfortability with themselves, they can be more productive, they can be palatable to the status quo. Mereka bisa jadi akhirnya bisa masuk ke ranah-ranah produktif. Misalnya kayak mereka akhirnya percaya diri untuk misalnya bekerja, mereka percaya diri untuk show up in public, mereka percaya diri untuk arguing in public, having a discussion, dan etc. Jadi this basic level of emotional comfortability itu sangat penting. Nah, second, what's very good with status quo adalah akhirnya because we have the discussion of sebenarnya how we have to see beauty standard, itu akhirnya create the process of individuals having a meaningful choice atau a meaningful decision in their life. Misalnya kayak akhirnya individual itu bukan lagi melihat I'm not beautiful, so I'm not attractive, so I just don't go to public. Tapi akhirnya individual tuh bisa punya process of thinking in their own mind. Kalau misalnya, how I have to see myself, should I focus on my physical beauty or should I focus to other things? Or should I just focus on criticizing my skin color, atau I just should have accept it dan go on with my life yang lebih produktif dan lebih buat saya itu bisa survive in status quo. Jadi akhirnya the good discussion and the very pros and cons discussion that we have in status quo itu akhirnya encourage us to think it in our mind, yang akhirnya bisa lead us to have a meaningful choice, a meaningful decision of our lives. Jadi akhirnya kalau misalnya ada yang argue, that's okay ada beauty standard because it's the preference of individuals. Nah, you have to make sure kalau misalnya that decision itu comes from weighing the pros and cons secara meaningful. Kayak kalian itu exposure towards prosnya itu cukup dan equally same with exposure to what's the cons. Jadi kalau misalnya kalian mau decide you are okay with standards, with beautiful standards, you have to make sure you know what's the cons of beauty standard. Supaya kayak kalau misalnya ada yang cons to beauty standard, itu diskusinya bukan kalian ad hominem atau misalnya kalian serang orangnya dan kayak merasa decision kalian itu paling benar. Tapi because you know the cons itu apa, you finally can rationalize it, you finally can be mature on the decision kalau that's very okay to have pros and cons to things, as long as it's a decision that you have fully on yourself, kayak gitu. Jadi kayak that's the good side of it, and I think it's very essential, karena kayak it gives the empowerment, though it's individual level, tapi the empowerment in individual level itu very important for us to go on with our life and to sustain the life and to survive our life in the end of the day. Next slide. Nah, jadi ini we'll have some audio visuals, ada photos, ada juga videos, dan because I want this to be interactive, I want to ask your opinion on those photos and on those videos. Jadi I encourage you guys to talk, karena kalau misalnya, karena I think on the discussion of beauty standards itu sangat tidak sangat tidak bagus kalau misalnya there is a discussion, karena kayak this view itu sangat diverse dan very much pros and cons. Jadi kayak I encourage you guys to give your opinion. Okay, next slide. Okay, so bear in mind this is not I'm asking you to see naked face, a naked body. Don't think it other way. Tapi see this as an advertising of bikini or swimsuit. Nah, jadi what do you think about this advertising? Jadi advertising ini itu dari company Swimsuit for All. Jadi company Swimsuit for All itu create a campaign #curvesinbikinis. Jadi kan kayak the construction atau the stereotype that we have already adalah fat people atau kayak curvy people are not attractive in swimsuit. Jadi kayak they want to argue kalau misalnya swimsuit can be for all. So what do you think, guys? Anyone would like to deliver their opinion? No one?
If you guys want to deliver your opinion, you can use the raise hand feature on Zoom app.
Ada? No one? Or you are scared because this is naked? Jadi this advertising is also a form of femvertising, female empowerment advertising. They would like to discuss and create discussion kalau misalnya curvy people, fat people can be beautiful in whatever clothes that they would like to use, though it's swimsuit, right? Terus for too long we have seen advertising yang mau advertise their products of swimsuit itu only using models that is white, tall, skinny, blonde, etc. So they would like to create reaffirmation on the status quo kalau misalnya these models is also beautiful. That's the pros on this advertising. Anyone can think of the cons of this advertising. Okay, why, though this advertising would like to create a discussion kalau misalnya beauty standard is that you shouldn't just be skinny, tapi juga bisa kalau misalnya kalian curvy, why that's still not okay? Anyone? Jadi the discussion adalah ini apa namanya ya, kayak mungkin nggak intuitif, it's not intuitive, tapi kayak this is the discussion yang ada. You can kayak misalnya search more on journals yang bicarakan kayak why femvertising is not the answer. Nah, jadi the discussion on the cons adalah mereka bilang kalau misalnya mengambil figure of women yang punya perbedaan sama the beauty standard yang telah kita punya for too long in status quo, itu adalah tokenistic. What's tokenistic? Jadi tokenistic itu adalah act of hanya mengambil satu dibandingkan semua dan dijadikan representatif on the purpose of creating an image kalau mereka itu progresif, atau kalau mereka itu ingin tampil beda, atau kalau mereka itu inclusive. Parallel example-nya itu contohnya di industri lain itu seperti BTS. Jadi BTS itu diambil untuk jadi nominee in awards, tapi for them to say kalau misalnya mereka itu inclusive, for the awards to be inclusive, tapi akhirnya itu tokenistic karena kayak the standard is just BTS. They don't see another Asian or another kayak musics, dan mereka hanya ambil BTS dari situ. You can search this kinds of discussion itu di YouTube banyak juga kayak why BTS is so tokenistic, why it's tokenistic to just take BTS. Ini ada dari ISQ, dia bilang I support it that this can boost confidence orang yang have the same body type. However, ini kayak masih confusing on certain body gak sih? Oh, focusing on certain body, iya. Jadi second, pertama adalah itu tokenistic. Yang kedua adalah discussionnya adalah somehow, though you would like to include other type of other body type, tapi that body type yang kalian tunjukkan in your screen itu masih fall on certain standard. Nah, jadi kalau misalnya you would like to take fat people untuk jadikan modelnya kalian, somehow fat people itu juga ada standarnya sendiri, kayak you are fat but not that fat. You are fat tapi you have to be curvy. You are fat, tapi you have to be attractive. You have to have a symmetrical face. You have to have curvy bodies and exactly. Jadi kayak that's the discussion. Kayak though they would like to be inclusive and getting other body type to be represented in their advertising, tapi the model that they use itu juga harus punya certain standard. Nah, ini kasusnya itu pernah ada model di, saya lupa, kayak ini pernah saya discuss juga di my podcast, itu dia akhirnya keluar dan tidak terima tawaran dari agensi itu untuk promote bikini karena dia rasa kalau that company itu nge-create juga standar. Kalau misalnya kalian fat, misalnya kalian big body size 8, standar fatness-nya adalah size 10, tidak boleh sampai 12 kayak gitu. Jadi kayak that's the discussion, kayak you are fat tapi not that fat. You are fat tapi harus be curvy juga, atau kayak you have to have attractive face sesuai beauty standard, symmetrical, big lips dan etc. Next. Nah, this one, ada yang mau argue on that? Kayak are you pros or are you cons? If you're pros, why? If you're cons, why? Anyone? Jadi kalau misalnya dia on the pros, jadi ini adalah kampanye dari brand Dove, brand ibunya adalah Unilever. Jadi kampanye, judul kampanye adalah Real Beauty Campaign. Jadi kayak dia mau menunjukkan kalau misalnya what does it mean to have a real beauty. Terus dia ada banyak series kampanyenya, tapi ini salah satunya, di mana dia kayak menunjukkan in box billboard foto-foto ini, kayak you choose, you checklist which one. Kayak this image wrinkled atau wonderful, this image of women fat or fit, this grandmother gray or gorgeous. Ada dari Christina, I support that because not every beauty is shown as black hair, flawless face, and have a goddess appearance. Jadi dia support ini karena dia merasa kalau misalnya beauty can be this too. Tidak hanya kayak have black hair, long, thick, lurus, dan lain-lain. Ada cons-nya. Kayak why this advertising is also bad. Jadi you have to realize kalau misalnya all things yang try juga untuk create feminist discourse tentang beauty standard status quo itu ada pros and cons. Anyone can think of the cons. BTW, saya izin minum dulu. Okay? Okay. I don't know is that available for public or not. Karena setahu saya itu iklannya ini ditunjukkan di billboard begitu. Jadi kayak di billboard. Kalau orang jalan orang bisa lihat. Tapi mungkin vote-nya I don't know. Soalnya iklan ini sudah lama. 2016, 2015. Ada yang bilang this is good karena itu bisa boost women confidence. That's true. Bisa boost women confidence. Nah, tapi what's the bad of this advertising? Kayak, if we have to argue kenapa ini advertising itu bad, what should we say? Nah, jadi this type of campaign, di mana kayak kampanye itu adalah require orang untuk nge-vote between two options, itu problematic. Karena viewers-nya are required to choose only on the binary options of fat or fit, flawed or flawless, dan etc. Jadi, this is problematic because women still become object to be judged solely on their appearance. Ini ada dari city. For me, this visualize that they just put two category, which are just good and bad option. I don't see this as a good campaign. Yes. Jadi dia memang hanya put two options yang akhirnya kayak orang-orang tuh dipaksa untuk milih. Kalau misalnya women ini dia fat atau fit sih, kayak women ini flawed atau flawless sih, tapi kayak akhirnya the option yang di provide itu masih solely based on their appearance. Jadi kayak the argumentation of this advertising still objectifying women itu ada. Jadi kayak you objectify women, dimana kayak women solely judge based on their appearance, based on kayak their physical appearance. Dimana kayak kalau fat still kayak refer to body size-nya, fit juga masih refer to body size-nya. Jadi kayak you have to choose, you have to still describe body size-nya ini sebenarnya apa. Which is berarti kalian dipaksa untuk fokus juga ke body size-nya orang. Jadi kalau misalnya kalian lihat orang lain, kalau misalnya kalian lihat orang lain di jalan, kalian itu masih akhirnya tertrap on the perspective kalau body type-nya apa sih. Kalau misalnya ada model yang body type-nya bukan skinny, kalian try untuk lihat kalau dia body type-nya adalah curvy. Terus you forced yourself to believe kalau that's beautiful, I like that. Meanwhile, kayak maybe you don't want to focus on the body size. Maybe you would like to focus on other things of this women, on other aspects. Tapi because you are presented with the reality in your screen, kalau misalnya you have to choose this women, still based on physical appearance yang dia punya, akhirnya itu jadi bad. Ini ada opinion juga dari teman-teman lain. Sure. I think this also boosts consumerism. You can see from the model, gray hair, Michelle to has. I see. Yes, that's true juga. Kalau misalnya ini juga discussion yang muncul kalau misalnya company yang try untuk make a social movement in their advertising, yang buat campaign to have social movement, itu can create a fox movement atau a fox progress. Jadi progress yang bohong gitu. Progress yang sebenarnya itu bukan progress. Misalnya kayak argumentation-nya itu can be satu, dia profit oriented, kayak dia tampilkan such ads because that's the discourse that society have right now. We have to adapt with the discourse that people have right now for them to have intention or incentive to buy our products, let's say. Jadi kayak Dove present this untuk kayak supaya consumer-nya merasa kalau Dove itu sensitive towards the issue of body standard yang kita punya sekarang. Dan akhirnya kayak mereka suka brandnya karena brandnya itu considered to be woke, dan akhirnya mereka purchase that product. Other cons that you can argue adalah company ini itu though mereka try to discuss on women empowerment, tapi if we see in their board of directors, kayak the company yang company-nya employer in what gender, itu masih kurang sekali women, or kayak women-nya itu masih kurang sekali di tataran board of directors, atau kayak orang-orang yang punya power untuk lead dan have more powerful opinion. Jadi kayak if you want to have women empowerment, then you also have to prove it in your company structure of kayak you employ more women. Karena kayak if you would like to give an issue, if you would like to give a discussion of women empowerment, it should also have opinion atau kayak datang dari opinionnya perempuan-perempuannya sendiri. Kayak don't use male gaze or male opinion on that because they are not relatable kayak gitu. Nah, tapi ada ini dari Natasha, maybe it has some cons. A lot of people criticize VS for the campaign, but however, on the other side, the skincare is gonna be affected by the critics. Jadi kayak akhirnya karena they are not setuju sama company-nya, they criticize the company, but they also criticize the model. Terus kayak modelnya juga get affected. I think kayak it's possible karena kayak in this industry, women who become model and purpose-nya hanyalah sebatas mencari financial capability dan sustain their financial life, to survive in their life, akhirnya kayak terforced untuk masuk di this kind of advertising. Kayak they don't want to emphasize the beauty standard, tapi at the same time they would like to pursue career or kayak financial stability. Jadi kayak if society would criticize, they can criticize these women. Meanwhile, kayak the major contribution towards the issue adalah the company themselves. Okay, next slide. Now this is a video. You can watch it first. Jadi itu kampanye dari Tokyo Olympics kerjasama sama SK2 untuk nge-campaign. Well, kampanye SK2 bilang kalau misalnya kayak beauty hashtag is no competition. What do you think about the ads? Video ads. Maybe you guys are typing. Jadi this ads itu would like to discuss on kalau misalnya kayak for too long, women itu di conditioned untuk only focus on their physical appearance dan akhirnya di conditioned juga untuk compare themselves to other people. Nah, comparing themselves to other people leads to competition. Kayak you compare yourself to other people who is more skinny. Jadi kayak you compete with them. Akhirnya you would like to be better like them or you would like to be better than them. Akhirnya beauty in satu school itu akhirnya jadi competition. Or kayak makeup. You compete on the idea of beauty is no makeup or beauty is natural beauty. Beauty means natural beauty. Terus kayaknya you compete with them kayak if you use makeup, you think that you are better. Or if you have natural beauty, so-called natural beauty, then you are better from other people. Jadi kayak akhirnya these kinds of standards that is created by people itu force us to compete with other women. Now, in the perspective of social movement, of feminism movement specifically, this isn't good because the movement do not want people to compete to each other. The movement does not want women to compete to other women. They want women to collaborate dan kayak work together in satu school to create women empowerment and etc. Ini Natasha, dia bilang, I really agree with SK to campaign. Beauty require confidence. Confident is when you know your strength and weakness and able to work with it. And then when you walk into the room, you don't have to be better than anyone else. Yes. Jadi kayak if you are confident, if you're comfortable with yourself already, you don't have to feel insecure. If you don't feel insecure, you will not create the mentality of being competitive with other people. So I think this is a very good campaign. Tapi the cons of this, why this is the cons, why masih ada yang tidak setuju sama kampanye ini? Unrealistic. How unrealistic? Why it is unrealistic? Eshika Rantalino, why is that unrealistic? She's typing maybe. I think the cons itu in most cases untuk kasus-kasus seperti ini tuh fall on the argumentation of still you make people focus on the beauty. You tell people that beauty is not competition, tapi it doesn't mean that in status quo people are comfortable with themselves. Jadi akhirnya mereka conditioned lagi orang-orang untuk kayak coba lihat beautymu itu sudah cukup kok, kayak yourself is already enough, you are beautiful, you are physically attractive. Tapi kayak I think personally it's still unrealistic because ada orang-orang yang tidak bisa confirm to such emotion kalau misalnya they are physically enough. Ini dari Apriliani, even that they escape to campaign a beauty require confidence, but in the another way, beauty is still be competition between the women. Yeah, yes. Jadi kayak ada lagi nih, beauty comes from within. In order to look beautiful, you have to feel beautiful. Oh, yes, that's very true. Jadi kayak yes, if you want to be looked beautiful, then you have to feel beautiful and be confident with yourself. Nah, tapi if we would like to argue on the cons, adalah orang-orang bilang kalau misalnya it's unrealistic atau kayak it's insensitive to the feeling yang orang punya, yang resulted yang dikarenakan karena status quo yang kayak not all people understand this atau kayak not all people argue the same. Kayak if you force people to love themselves, to think that they are physically attractive, tapi kayak not all people in your environment enforce that to you, then it would just be an uncomfortable situation in which kayak you try yourself very hard untuk kayak feel enough with yourself, tapi kayak other people still enforcing you to not feel enough because you are not physically attractive. Jadi kayak there is a contradiction yang terjadi antara kayak the campaign, apa yang kampanyenya mau, kayak how people believe or perceive that campaign, sama kayak how individunya di status quo mau pursue that kind of things. Jadi kayak that's still something yang problematic karena kayak though you try very hard to be confident, tapi kayak kalau orang lain tuh masih enforce things to you and you cannot just kayak let it, then it would be a very hard situation for you. Yes, that's very true. Okay, next slide.
Yang berusia 21 sampai dengan 24 tahun. Silakan maju. Yang memiliki IPK di atas 3,0. Yang merasa berpenampilan menarik. Silakan maju.
Ya gue sih ngerasa menarik, tapi ya nggak tahu orang lain.
Maksudnya lihat rambutku kayak, ih ngapain sih lo maju? Emang lo yakin ya keterima?
Kamu kenapa tadi tidak maju?
Kurang percaya diri. Mayoritas orang Indonesia kan rambutnya lurus. Mereka suka bilang, keriting keribu anak sintin naik ke bawah. Paling berisik lo.
Dulu kalau rambut aku panjang, udah fine-fine aja. Tapi giliran aku potong pendek, feel kok kayak anak pang banget sih. Kayak
pas kecil tuh rambut aku keriting dan lebih ngembang lagi dari yang sekarang.
Banyak yang bully, kayak ngomong rambut singa lah, terus kayak ngetawain gitu loh. Jadi kayak bikin aku tuh kayak kenapa gitu loh.
Keinget masa-masa dulu kan rambut aku sebenarnya nggak panjang.
Kayak misal aku mau melamar kerja di tempatnya kakak sepupu, selalu bilang nggak ada, ubah dulu penampilan lo. Masa cewek rambutnya pendek gitu kan? Nggak adil, kadang kan semua orang itu memiliki kesempatan. Mereka semua punya mimpi gitu kan.
Kalian ngeliat teman-teman kalian yang di belakang yang nggak maju ke depan ini menarik nggak?
Ini, rambut pendek.
Rambut pendek.
Untuk beda dari orang Indonesia yang lain, itu menurut saya berani.
Oke, menurut kamu dia pantas nggak untuk maju di samping kamu? Oke, kamu silakan maju ke depan.
Aku ngefans lo jujur sama yang anak kayak rambutnya keriting yang panjang itu. Lebih ngebuka mindset aku sih kalau misalkan berpenampilan menarik tuh di sini tuh nggak harus kayak rambutnya lurus atau punya rambut yang hitam atau segala macam.
Ini loh Pak, ya aku kayak gini. Dengan gue seperti ini pun gue juga bisa berhasil.
semua orang spesial.
So that's it, the videos. What do you think, guys?
If you guys want to give your opinion, you guys can just turn on your mic. Yeah, you don't have to type it.
Habis bersini. Lihat deh, ini. Betul. Harus pokok breakman.
Ada yang mau kasih opiniannya?
I think that no matter who you are, what's your body, what's your face, what's your head, you have the same chance to face or untuk menampilkan dirimu sendiri. So no matter who you are, you have the same chance.
So everyone have same opportunity untuk present themselves. I think kayak first video really shows the beauty is really diverse and beauty standard is insane because it makes us believe that we have to look in certain ways to be called beautiful. Yes.
Wait, can I just stop? Or
Yeah.
no? Okay, so in my opinion, the first video has, like, I understand what they want to deliver to us, but the fact that they use those actors with those hashtags, I don't think I see the correlation. Like, if you really want to show like beauty is not about competition, I think SK2 should choose a different game, right? Because by putting all those beauty standards beside each other, at the end of the day, people will compare them. When comparison happen between those beauty standards, it will become competition. Because I think SK2 has to look at the status quo where it's not realistic for you to just say that. I think a lot of people already point out that society does not always think like that. Women still has no confidence about how they look. At the end of the day, when they look at that campaign, I will think they will not think that beauty has no competition, but they will start comparing themselves with the model show in that campaign, I think. Thank you.
Thank you. I think that's right. Kembali lagi kayak kalau kalian akhirnya hanya fokuskan orang-orang untuk find the beauty in themselves, it do not negate people to do not compare themselves to other people. Jadi kayak misalnya, if I already find myself that I'm beautiful this way in A, B, C way, ada other people yang define themselves itu beautiful in D, E, F way. No matter how you have your own definition of beauty, ujung-ujungnya you will still have to compare yourself to other people. Like, do my standard is beautiful enough? Do her standard is beautiful enough? Okay, this certain person, this person prefer which standard, right? Jadi kayak akhirnya you still have to compare each other. Yes, I think from the last two videos, it's very good karena kayak the brands, companies, beauty industries in Indonesia itu try juga untuk punya walk campaign. Kayak ada kampanye-kampanye yang bertujuan untuk create discussion on sebenarnya beauty standard itu bagaimana. Kayak I really appreciate the incentive and the intention untuk juga cater women with fragile emotion on their on their selves. Jadi akhirnya kayak it's not akhirnya kita bisa lihat local products yang atau kayak produk-produk yang di market di Indonesia itu juga try untuk siding to people yang tidak sesuai sama standard beauty yang di-create sama society. In which menurutku itu akhirnya create juga emotional comfort to the women. Though kayak it's on the concept of you have you will feel that you are beautiful if you purchase my products. Tapi kayak on the other side, it gives the comfortability on that people. Yes. Kayak si di iklan Pantene tadi kan dia tanya kayak yang berpenampilan menarik, right? Akhirnya you understand, right? Kayak though bahkan maksudnya this is the culture in interview kerja, kayak syaratnya adalah berpenampilan menarik. Jadi kayak though you would like to create a discussion of berpenampilan menarik itu diverse, tapi you still put pressure on kayak people have to think that they are menarik. Terus they force us to just accept what we have. Meanwhile, in major society, standard of apa yang beauty itu masih ada. Jadi kayak it's a paradox. Jadi kayak you want to feel beautiful, but other people do not support you, and the campaign that we have in the companies seems very, very progressive, but it's not in our society, right? It's just on the company being tokenistic on the discussion that currently the movement have. Okay, next. Nah, ini ada beberapa contoh motions yang bisa yang kalian bisa motions yang talk about beauty standard dan sering muncul di debate. If we would like to use the argumentation that we have already on this motion. Nah, jadi kayak ada 5 motions. Yang pertama itu this house prefers a world where humans cannot perceive aesthetic beauty. Ada yang mau kasih opininya? Kayak why women should not live in a world where ada aesthetic beauty. Ada yang Christine tadi bicara tidak? Oke. Jadi basically di motion ini kan dia tidak mau human itu live in a world ketika kita itu acknowledge adanya aesthetic beauty. Kayak orang-orang bisa lihat which things yang represent aesthetic beauty. Nah, discussion-nya adalah berarti di debatnya itu dia menginginkan adanya discussion of di word mana yang bakalan ada lebih bagus action towards the vulnerable people yang di-deem tidak beautiful. Apakah ketika ada aesthetic beauty atau tidak adanya aesthetic beauty. Di government berarti dia bakal argue kalau misalnya we should not just see aesthetic beauty karena it's very standardizing and parameter and limit us to certain definition of aesthetic beauty. Like though we have the diverse definition, tapi kayak aesthetic beauty still defined very narrow in major society. While in opposition, berarti dia mau argue kalau misalnya we still prefer a world where human can see aesthetic beauty because in status quo aesthetic beauty itu datang dari let's say personal choice of people yang mau create definition of aesthetic beauty. Dimana kayak they see kalau misalnya the elements of aesthetic beauty is important for their creation, like arts, exactly. Terus kayak defining it freedom secara bebas oleh diri mereka itu kayak creates diverse discussion of what does it mean to have aesthetic beauty. Jadi kayak dari 110 itu sudah progresif. Or second, that as a women of color living in a majority white country, we would embrace, compete in, and establish national beauty pageants for women of our ethnic heritage. Jadi basically motionnya itu bicarakan tentang kalau misalnya women, perempuan-perempuan yang tinggal di majority white country yang dimana negaranya itu dominan kulit putih, mereka itu bakalan buat competition beauty pageants nationally for women yang etniknya mereka. Jadi misalnya ada, jadi pageants-nya bukan hanya pageants, tapi kayak passion on this motion. Kalau di
Okay guys, so we are now in debate and if you guys, you can just type your opinion in chat. And after
I say I will be like on the opposition side for the second motion because I believe right now the status quo in like the pageant competition is already progressive enough. We already see that from 10 years prior now, there are already several winners from minority community. Like we see Miss Teen USA, Miss America, Miss USA, and Miss Universe. We have the representation. But when we make this kind of competition, I believe this will highlight the diversity of the race that will put certain race into highlight that they don't want to work. And this will exactly backlash the pageant and the campaign of beauty standard. All beauty is important when we like create a diversity standard of like pageant competition, because it will backlash the core argumentation.
Thank you, Adiba. Ada yang lain? Like you can think of why it's only through having a national competition on beauty pageants that we can acknowledge other standard of beauty in government, right? You can argue kalau misalnya the reason why current beauty standard itu terlalu fokus on the aspects of beauty yang dimiliki oleh women-women yang white, yang datang dari white people, itu karena the competition and the pageants yang kita punya for too long itu memang highlights on that kind of beauty. Then the winner is also represent the standard of beauty that they prefer. So making another competition can emphasize on the creation of other standard of beauty. Jadi kayak it's only through making new competition that people can acknowledge kalau misalnya yes, black is beautiful, like that. Kayak kalau misalnya hanya discussion kayak you can be black, your dark skin is beautiful, itu there is no great emphasis on defining that new standard of beauty. That great emphasis hanya bisa dicapai kalau misalnya kita create a new competition, seperti itu. Opposition, you can hear what Adiba did say. Terus yang ketiga, kayaknya sama saja sama yang kedua. Yang keempat itu should support narrative that beauty does not matter over the narrative that all bodies are beautiful. Nah, jadi discussionnya ini berarti mau fokus on kayak apakah you want to live in a world ketika feminist movement itu supportnya you can create your own definition of beauty, or you live in a world where feminist movement-nya itu kampanye kalau beauty doesn't matter at all. What matters adalah the potential, the capacity, the skills that you have as individual regardless your physical appearance. Nah, and you cannot argue kalau misalnya ini can run at the same time. You cannot argue kalau misalnya status quo itu ada orang yang bilang kalau you are beautiful no matter what, ada juga orang yang bilang kalau beauty doesn't matter, ya. Like it cannot run at the same time in order untuk buat goal yang berhasil. Like if you want the goal adalah people, adalah women can be comfortable with themselves, then you have to choose which one of these options. That way. Nah, kalau misalnya di government dia bilang beauty does not matter, berarti dia lebih fokus ke how people itu should focus on individual capacity. Apa yang dia lakukan, dia kerjanya apa, social work-nya apa, dia advocate apa di status quo, dan bla bla bla. Or the options in opposition where you mention that all bodies are beautiful, you campaign on that. Berarti you claim kalau misalnya you campaign kalau misalnya orang-orang itu harus accept themselves because themselves are beautiful no matter what is the elements inside that beautiful. Berarti we can argue on argumentation yang kita sudah bilang tadi di atas. Kalau misalnya di opposition all bodies are beautiful, berarti they argue kalau misalnya this is important untuk catering women yang belum bisa be comfortable with themselves, dan kayak women yang masih tertrap on the construction of beauty standard itu harus yang seperti ini. Terus akhirnya mereka kayak tidak comfortable with themselves. The only way for feminist movement to cater those women adalah for feminist movement campaigning that they are beautiful. Jadi kayak their insecurities and their worriness upon physical beauty itu akhirnya bisa di cater through this campaign, dan akhirnya mereka bisa be comfortable with themselves, dan mereka akhirnya bisa accept themselves, dan kayak progress themselves, akhirnya being productive, being confident, dan etc. etc. Di government berarti beauty does not matter. You say kalau misalnya proposing kalau we have to focus again on beautiful, all bodies are beautiful, berarti you trap again people to just think of women only on the consideration of how is their physical self. You have to find every beautiful elements on their physical being. Or you impose themselves to force themselves to put or to take certain appearance in their physical appearance to be beautiful. Instead, you say kayak that's not okay, karena kayak berarti you still focus women on beauty only. While feminist movement does not want people to just focus on the beauty side of the women, tapi kayak on the skills, on the capacity, on what are they doing in status quo, etc. etc. Or you can say kalau misalnya you go with the campaign of all bodies are beautiful, you create emphasis on kayak women stereotyping or kayak women people stereotyping and people standard or people intuitive response ketika mereka melihat women. Like the first thing that they will see if they see women adalah how is their appearance. Meanwhile, feminist movement one kayak the first thing that people see on women adalah what are they doing, kayak mereka lakukan apa di dunia ini, like what's their social work, what do they contribute. Lastly, this house supports the use of feminist catchphrases about freedom, empowerment, and choice in advertisement of fashion and beauty products. Ini simply berarti this house supports femvertising, right? The use of freedom, empowerment, catchphrases, kayak tadi yang Dove, real beauty campaign. SK2, beauty hashtag no competition. Atau ada juga dari, ini fashion and beauty products ya. Kalau misalnya di industri lain, industri hygiene, itu ada brand Always, dia itu brand yang memproduksi pads, sanitary things. Dia ada kampanyenya yang dia buat video di mana dia jelaskan, dia bilang kalau videonya itu ingin deconstruct orang-orang punya stereotype on what does it mean to do it like a girl. Karena kan kayak sekarang ada stigma kalau misalnya kayak man talking, terus talkingnya itu di perceived to be feminine, they deem it as you do it like a girl. Right? Jadi kayak di iklan itu dia mau bilang kalau misalnya what does it mean to do it like a girl? Terus kayak dia bilang kalau stereotipnya sekarang do it like a girl itu like feminine, lemah, or things like that. Terus mereka portray other things yang do it like a girl is like kayak kalau misalnya you would like to pukul kayak pukul bola gitu, terus kayak you do it like a girl, terus girlnya itu do it with powerful way, not like feminine way yang kayak orang-orang portray di satu school. Nah, basically kayak the basic ideas dari all these motions itu run the same. Kayak the debate you have to prove kayak how these motions atau kayak how your work itu bisa create better world for women. In a way kayak mereka itu bisa comfortable with themselves. Comfortable with themselves means they can be presentable in status quo, they can be confident, etc. etc. Or you have to create an environment for women where they do not have to focus on physical appearance again, just their capacity, their skills, etc. etc. And that way would be better for women untuk kayak bisa juga explore their lives. Nah, okay, that's all on the motions.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, Khaira. Okay, now we will dive into the question and answer session. First, we will I'll be taking question that asked from the registration form. The first question is about why do you think the beauty standard affect most of teenagers, young girls, and boys in our society. And next question, or you want to answer first?
Yeah, langsung answer.
Okay.
So questionnya tadi how
how beauty standard affects most of teenagers on their daily basis.
So these standards itu affect most of teenagers in their daily basis badly. Jadi ada research yang jadi ada media company di luar di US namanya Media. Dia itu buat research on women satisfaction of their physical appearance. Dan researchnya itu result into kayak most of women itu tidak satisfied with their physical appearance. Nah, this satisfaction itu leads women to again feel not confident. Kayak mereka juga not only on the level of not feeling confident, tidak merasa cukup sama diri mereka, tapi kayak itu juga to the extent of affecting their mental health. Dimana kayak mereka akhirnya focusing on, misalnya kalau mereka itu have big body atau fat body, they focus too much on losing weight, terus akhirnya itu leads to anorexia dan lain-lain, bulimia dan lain-lain. So it affects their mental health. Nah, akhirnya because that research shows that, akhirnya this company itu buat a program di mana mereka itu create competition for brands, di mana kayak mereka itu bakalan award brands yang try untuk create discussion on women's beauty, yang try untuk create discussion on stereotype yang diberikan kepada women. Contohnya itu yang Davril Beauty tadi, dia dapat award di competitionnya si Media ini. Terus banyak sekali, ada juga Nike, ada juga Always yang saya bilang tadi dan lain-lain. So you can search Media Advertising Awards. Nah, other than that, in most cases kayak kampanye juga yang dibuat sama companies yang status quo itu startnya dari mereka do research dulu, kayak how sebenarnya women itu feel about their body in relation to beauty standards. Then because all the outcome itu reflects how women cannot satisfied, how it affects women mental health, it affects how they perceive the world, it affects their productivity in their everyday lives, akhirnya mereka buat this campaign. Nah, ini juga yang akhirnya lead Dove itu create kampanye yang Real Beauty tadi. Or you can see another kampanye yang dibuat sama Dove itu, di mana kayak mereka ada seriesnya di YouTube, you can just see, di mana kayak mereka itu undang women untuk tell and describe their physical appearance ke pelukis, without pelukis see their face. Terus pelukisnya hanya gambar based on how these women describe themselves. Nah, the result is that kayak the way these women describe themselves itu sangat insecure dan sangat akhirnya mereka, because they feel insecure about their body, they describe themselves in a way that they think their physical appearance is bad. Terus akhirnya si pelukisnya melukis sesuai description-nya dan akhirnya hasilnya itu if we judge it based on beauty standard, itu hasilnya itu tidak preferable, not physically attractive. Tapi ternyata fisiknya si women-nya ini, fisik aslinya itu lebih atraktif dibandingkan how they describe it to the pelukis. Jadi kayak it shows how kayak women itu memang feeling dissatisfaction sama insecurity-nya on the body itu sangat real. Dan padahal physical body-nya langsung itu atau physical appearance itu not that bad. Right. Well, we judge it from bad dan tidak bad lagi juga. Itu.
Okay, thank you, Kak. Well, there's still there's still some questions from Google Form. It's how to eradicate or at least minimize the stereotype for beauty standard, example colorism, beauty, sexy, etc. for men and also for women.
Can you repeat how what?
How to eradicate or at least minimize the stereotype for beauty standard, example colorism, beauty, sexy, etc. for men and also for women.
I think it's very hard kalau misalnya kalian itu expect our society untuk langsung punya different, untuk langsung bisa conform towards how you want society to perceive beauty. You want society to be progressive, to perceive beauty yang diverse. Meanwhile, kayak it's very hard untuk change the systematic construction yang mereka sudah di-presented dari dulu-dulu. So the only way, so if you would like to ask, can we eradicate it or not? I think you cannot eradicate it. The only thing that you can do adalah kayak having individual level of acceptance and understanding on yourself. Like, if other people think so, make it as something that will not affect you individually. So if other people think that you are not beauty, then do not make other person's judgment affect how you feel about yourself. So the only way you can do that adalah dengan punya perceiving individually dulu dengan dirinya kalian. Kayak you have to decide it yourself. You want to be perceived beauty in your own definition, or you just don't care about beauty at all and you want to show the capacity that you have, the skills that you have. So you choose between options. So within that, you can finally decide how other people will affect yourself. So kalau misalnya option yang pertama, di mana kalian bilang kalian percaya kalau you are beautiful based on your own definition. Terus kalau misalnya ada orang lain yang kayak judge kalian not beautiful, then you will not be affected by that, because you will argue kalau misalnya the definition that you have is just different with the definition that they have. So you don't need to compete with that definition that other people have with you that you have. Or if you choose second option where you don't care about beauty at all, you just care about your capacity. Maybe you acknowledge that you are ugly, but you acknowledge that you are more than that because you have capacity, you have skills, etc. So when other people judge you that you are ugly, you just say, yes, I'm ugly, but what's your skills? What's your capacity? What do you do for society? Or what do you do in your life? So how you respond to other people itu harus kalian establish dulu dirinya kalian sendiri. And that's the second thing that I discussed before, why these discussions and discourses that we have in status quo itu sangat benefit us, because it gives us exposure to diverse opinions and diverse options that we have in status quo, yang akhirnya bisa buat kita itu decide dulu di dirinya kita how you want yourself, what you want yourself to be. Akhirnya kayak if you already decide what you want yourself to be, it will also affects how you respond to other people's judgment to you. Second, thank you. That's it.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Kak. There's another question. They ask about why the beauty standards in various countries are different.
Basically, beauty standards in different countries are different karena kembali lagi how the beauty itu dikonstruk itu dengan cara apa. Kalau di Western atau European society, beauty standards-nya itu dikonstruk dan di-affect dari economic imperatives. Dimana kayak they want uniformity of makeup products yang mereka jual di pasaran. That's why they just use an endorsement by white Hollywood stars. Kalau dia di African country, yang beauty-nya itu di-affect atau di-construct based on cultures and rituals dan lain-lain, itu berarti they'll be seen beauty kalau mereka following that culture. Example kan those countries itu you are beautiful kalau misalnya kalian pakai let's say anting yang besar atau bagaimana kayak you can just look at it in Google. Nah itu kan berarti kayak their beauty itu deconstructed dari the culture. Apa yang culture-nya bilang beautiful, akhirnya itu jadikan beauty standard di sana. Nah that's the thing yang affect how different beauty standards di countries-nya itu could be diverse. I think that's it.
Well, okay, thank you, Kak. Well, actually, there's a lot of questions in Google form, but I think it's have been answered with Kafira, from Kafira. So now I will open the Q&A session. So anyone can ask with turn your mic on or type. But I see here there are some questions that needed to answer. Okay, first, it's from Christine. She asked about feminism. Can feminism be used to prevent or guard girls when stereotype of beauty offend them? Also, what advantage and disadvantage to bring feminism to our argument about beauty standard? I will hand over to Kafira.
Also, what advantage and disadvantage to bring feminism? Oh, okay, I see. Jadi pertanyaan pertamanya itu, apakah feminism can be used to protect us ketika ada stereotype of beauty yang di offend ke kita? I think feminism feminist discourse itu contribute so much to how you protect yourself from such offend yang dilakukan sama society di luar sana. Jadi kayak I think I learned how to create my own definition or perceiving my own self itu from me being exposed to feminist discourse. Jadi, and I think juga kayak maybe there are people in status quo yang masih push so hard on beauty standards itu because they are not exposed to the current discourse yang dipunya sama feminism movement. So, if you would like to ask, can feminist discourse protect you from the offensive remarks that you get about your physical beauty? I think they can, because I think it's only from feminist discourse or on the movement themselves yang ajarkan kalian untuk create your own definition. Kayak that is the movement yang ajarkan kalian untuk don't care about beauty at all, or that is the movement yang ajarkan kalian untuk lihat kalau misalnya women itu punya a lot of potential for themselves. Jadi kayak I think they can protect yourself and can be a guard to yourself. So kalau misalnya kalian nanti dapat offend, make sure you are exposed to diverse perspective dan opinions yang dipunya sama feminist, for you to misalnya look kayak which one you like, which one you would like to implement in your own life. Second, dia tanya what advantage and disadvantage to bring feminism to our argument about beauty standard. I think kalau misalnya bawa argument about beauty standard, kan most likely kayak the opinions, the discourse, that discourse itu datangnya dari the discourse of feminism yang sudah ada. Tapi the disadvantage ketika kalian itu bawa kata feminism di dalam argumentation kalian, it can also be a boomerang to you yourself. Why? Karena di satu sekolah sekarang, I think kayak people have their own judgment upon what does it mean. What does feminism means? Jadi kayak ada yang lihat feminism itu as an attack to man dignity, as an attack to man supremacy, or feminism itu as something yang would like to be second lead man, etc. Jadi kayak ada stigma on the word of feminism kalau it is a bad thing, right? Akhirnya kayak if you would like to argue on beauty standard, terus bawa-bawa feminism ini bilang begini, I think kayak maybe people will attack you on the idea of feminism is bad, not attack you on your opinion about why beauty standard is bad. Jadi kayak if make sure if you would like to argue on such things, you see your audience. If your audience are people who are diverse, then kayak discussionnya can be what can be can be kesana kemari or kayak kesana kemari, dan I think kayak it's more strategic for you untuk just directly focus on beauty standard without kayak bawa iming-iming ini loh what feminist bilang, karena kayak I think in status quo itu juga for you to have a meaningful discussion di mana kayak orang-orang itu kalian expect orang-orang untuk engage with your discussion or engage with your opinion, then you have to also adapt with how they think. Jadi kayak it can be disadvantage kalau misalnya kalian bring quote-unquote feminism to your argumentation. Jadi kayak kalau misalnya kalian mau meaningful discussion, just directly focus on beauty standard, why it's bad or why it's good. Kayak gitu. Thank you, Kristen, for asking.
Okay, thank you for the answer, Kafira. The next we have question from Devaham. I'm sorry. From Adiba. Kak, what's your opinion masalah syarat daftar kerja berpenampilan menarik? Like, do you think for a certain jobs it's justified to have these requirements, or you disagree in all contexts?
Okay, I think this interesting discussion about these ads. Karena I think kalau misalnya me personally, I don't think appearance matters at all. Like kalau misalnya ada jobs yang bilang you have to be berpenampilan menarik, then I would judge dan kayak perceive that kind of jobs itu bukan jobs yang punya friendly environment to women. So I will think kalau misalnya that's not good as a company untuk kayak requires these things. So I would most likely choose other options untuk tidak register myself to that company dan cari company lain yang lebih, let's say, progressive, inclusive, dan lain-lain. Tapi, if the discussion adalah you are a woman yang mau pursue career dan mau kayak determine in your financial stability, and you think that you only have specific skills yang hanya bisa di-cater sama company itu, then I think you have to compromise your idealism. In which kayak kalau misalnya company-nya requires you to be berpenampilan menarik, then you have to adapt with that requirements. This is not for me to be double standard, tapi I think it's important untuk individuals itu understand purpose-nya mereka apa, or kayak the way to achieve their purpose or their goals itu pakai cara apa yang strategis. For me, yang misalnya kayak I think I acknowledge privilege of having options, then I will not adapt or I will not compromise my idealism. Tapi for people who do not have options and are not privileged enough to have options, then it's okay for you to compromise your idealism, because the benefit that you will have itu lebih better, in which kayak you can have sustainable jobs, you can have better salary, you can sustain yourself, and you can survive in this world. So I think that's okay untuk ada requirement berpenampilan menarik, dan that's okay for women untuk compromise their idealism on beauty standard for the importance of financial benefit that they will get in the end of the day. Now, this is also an argumentation yang bisa muncul because the uprising of post-feminism discourse, di mana kayak kalian tuh lebih fokus ke individual empowerment. Like kalau misalnya kalian lebih empowered untuk get financial stability by compromising your idealism, then go for it, because this is individual empowerment. Or if I think that I can be empowered by do not compromise my idealism, then go for it too. Jadi kayak akhirnya individual empowerment dan individual satisfaction-nya dapat di kedua sisi. That it. Jadi thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you, Kak. Now we move to another question from Devaham. How to assure ourselves that we are beauty as the way we are when we live at a society that their beauty standards we don't have?
I think the only way to assure that yourself is beauty adalah dengan tidak reflect what you have with what other people have. I think you have to have a concise mind, di mana kalian sadar kalau misalnya genetics are different, privileges of capital is different, di mana orang-orang bisa misalnya mengubah appearance in a way kayak misalnya misalnya mereka experience, they do such treatments, beauty treatments, it's because they have financial capability. Like if you cannot pursue, if you cannot that, if you don't have financial capacity, then just don't. Jadi harus ada dulu level of consciousness dan level of acknowledge di dalam dirinya kalian kalau kayak everybody's capacity dan background itu different. Jadi it's very usual to have a different outcome. That's why you have. That's the only way I think you can assure kalau misalnya you are beautiful. Second is by defining your own beautiful. I think kayak kalau misalnya kalian sudah sampai ke tipping point di mana kalian merasa kayak no, I'm not that beautiful and that person is more beautiful than me. I think that's already the point where you can just go beyond physical appearance. Go beyond physical appearance dan kayak think kalau dia benefitnya adalah beautiful, dia good looking, I have to search something else di dalam diri saya yang bisa saya jadikan sebagai something yang leveraging myself. Like you explore your skills, develop your skills, dan exactly. Jadi akhirnya you can see other people itu privilege on their physical appearance, then you can see yourself is already good in your skills. Jadi kayak sometimes you have to reach that point of deadlock in your mind dan akhirnya kayak search for something else yang juga bisa buat kalian survive in society. Karena kan I think kayak society itu will not just directly bilang you are nothing ketika you have a skillful you have skills dan exactly. Thank you, dear Han.
Okay, thank you, Kak. We have another question from Aslin. How to understand myself that my self-improvement is more important than run for the beauty itself? For example, I always spend money for makeup than buy books. By the way, guys, we are accepting more questions. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can type it or just directly talk in. Just directly turn on your mic. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the question, Aslin. I think this is interesting. I think you have to maybe have changing of perspective on kalau misalnya if you spend your financial capacity on makeup, then it's a zero-sum game that you cannot improve yourself through buying books. I think in sekarang ini kayak there is a lot of ways for people to improve themselves. Like it's not just through buying books. There is free journals that you can search in Google's. Then you can like following discussion the social media, or you enroll yourself to courses yang free like di Coursera, let's say. Jadi, or you ikut seminars to have new insights and explore new things. I think banyak alternatif yang sebenarnya bisa dilakukan to improve yourself, and it does not relate to financial spending. And I think kayak itu quite accessible kok di satu school, like you searching journals. Misalnya misalnya you major on you major on marketing, right? Terus kayak I think marketing can be learned not only by buying books, tapi kayak searching journals, terus kayak learning from other people's experience on marketing, or you ikut seminar, let's say, dan lain-lain. So it does not always have to be related to buying books or purchasing something. Like there is other thing yang more accessible. Tapi on other thing, Kalau misalnya memang mau sekali untuk punya financial spending di things yang improve yourself, I think you have to weigh on the cost and benefit. Kayak kalau misalnya you spend money for makeup, does what benefit that it will gives you. Let's say you list down the benefits. First, it benefits you because you have satisfaction, because you can go shopping. Or second, it satisfies you because you have new products. Or third, it satisfies you because you can beautify yourself. Nah, I think you have to weigh these benefits itu leads ke apa? Kayak how this feelings or emotions of satisfaction leads to self improvement atau self achievements. Kalau misalnya kayak you think itu hanya a periodic atau kayak temporary satisfaction, then go for something yang lebih sustainable. Go for something yang lebih panjang dan long lasting benefitnya di kau. If satisfaction is temporary, means knowledge dan insights itu lebih long lasting and it's a future investment. Jadi kayak you have to weigh it yourself dan kayak put dulu goalnya saya ini sebenarnya apa? Apakah I want self improvement atau I just want self satisfaction? Nah, tapi kalau between two goals, compare lagi yang mana yang sebenarnya kasih saya sustainable benefit, sustainable achievement, yang satisfaction atau yang self improvement. Tapi ini balik lagi ke how you perceive yourself in the world. Apakah you want to have a day-to-day enjoyment atau you want to invest for future? Jadi kayak question lagi ke dirimu, kau mau day-to-day enjoyment kah atau kau mau investment for future? Jadi every decision that you have itu pasti punya cost and benefit. Jadi what I can suggest adalah make sure you weigh the cost and benefit fairly dan kayak lihat be realistic to the current situation that you have. Kalau misalnya I do not focus on my self improvement, apakah kedepannya saya punya safety net? Kayak do I have enough financial capacity untuk support saya later? Kayak apakah in later on I have safety nets, kayak my parents are rich, or kayak I have so much privileges, I have network, so I just don't need to really focus on my self improvement and just focus on my self satisfaction. Jadi kayak be realistic to the current situation that you have and the current and the future world that you would like to achieve. That's it. Thank you, Aslin.
Great, thank you, Kak. Now we have another questions from Adibah. She asked for the recommended. Can you recommend some literature in this context?
Literature.
Oh yeah, and we still accepting more question, guys. So if you guys still have a question, please type your question in chat. Thank you.
Okay, I think kalau misalnya you would like to read on things, kalau misalnya specific on favoritising, you can read research by Khairulbariyah. Type Khairulbariyah. I don't know, Herbie, I don't know. Nah, terus kalau misalnya on feminism, I think you have to read Naomi Wolf. I think you also have to read Bad Feminist. Saya lupa dari siapa ini Bad Feminist. Terus, I think you also have to search on Ruth Wodak. Ruth Wodak ini dia lecturer. Terus dia orang yang dia bukan cuma write buku sebagai writers, tapi dia juga lecturer yang nulis buku dan create teori tentang critical discourse analysis. Terus dia fokusnya ke women dan such things like racism dan lain-lain. Jadi kayak you can read on her. And I think sebenarnya kalau misalnya mau baca-baca, you can just search randomly kayak feminist discourse, let's say, atau kayak what's bad with the beauty campaign that we have right now. Jadi bakalan banyak ada literatur yang muncul, and I think kayak just read it all because it can gives you things. Terus kayak I recommend kalau misalnya terlalu susah untuk baca buku yang panjang, because I also don't kayak satu buku diselesaikan, no. Kayak I search certain topics that I would like to I would like to expert upon. Jadi kayak hanya search certain topics, terus kayak that certain topics baca di bukunya, terus kayak search for another literatur yang juga discuss the same thing. Jadi kayak you can master on Naomi Wolf perspective on beauty standards. You can also arguing on beauty standards based on other writers that way. Or kalau misalnya susah juga on books, I think you can search journals yang sudah tersum up, kayak journals or article yang sudah terupload, kan itu kayak lebih singkat dibandingkan kayak you baca thesis defense-nya orang yang kayak sampai 100 halaman toh. Jadi kayak gitu saja, kayak lebih singkat dan lebih to the point. Like kalau misalnya singkat dan to the point tuh, you can have more rooms untuk exploring dan question things, dan akhirnya cari itu di jurnal lain juga. Jadi kayak I think it's a continuation of how you explore readings from different authors. I think that's.
Okay, thank you for the recommendation, Kak. There's also Dioham who asks about, is there any book you can suggest to everyone who immerse themselves with others toxic and improve our belief that we are perfect as the way we are?
I think kalau konteks self-nya adalah seperti you are still contemplating on the insecurities that you still have, then I think don't go for journals, because it would be so hard. Then I think you will feel that you are forced to believe kalau itu true, or kayak you are beautiful. Kayak I think you will be in position that you are forced. Tapi if you would like to try it, that's very okay. Kayak if you have self bounce back yang tinggi, that's okay. Nah, tapi saranku adalah you can start by reading poetries, you can start by reading kayak people's experience, kayak the curhat yang orang-orang punya di social media. I think it's very much. Dan kayak ada spesifik juga, banyak spesifik accounts yang juga would like to discuss these points, tapi in a way yang lebih calming, yang lebih tidak offensive, yang caranya itu package it in a form kayak cerita experience yang orang, kayak from creating kayak poetries dan etc. I think kayak you can start by that. Why you can start with that things? I think karena kayak the things yang harus dilakukan Dirham sekarang adalah how you can make sure your emotions itu di-justify sama other people. Not in a way that your emotions itu justified in a academic way or more rational way or logical way. You can start justify your emotion through other people's emotions too, and kayak how they tell it to other people, supaya kayak level of individuals satisfaction-nya itu ada dulu. Kayak that's very okay untuk kalian itu cari dulu things yang confirming towards your self-judgment. Kayak kalau kalian rasa I'm ugly or I'm not beautiful, that's very okay untuk cari juga other people yang tell the same emotion that they're ugly and they're not beautiful. That's very okay untuk kayak confirming dulu emotionnya kalian, because the only way untuk kayak kalian bisa move forward dan kayak search something else itu dengan kalian itu acknowledge dulu kalau emotionnya kalian itu true. Kalau it's true that the society is like this, supaya akhirnya kayak judgment ke depannya itu lebih move forward karena sudah ada acceptance di diri kalian sendiri. Like, I think it's very hard untuk move forward dan search for something else yang lebih, let's say, berat dan offensive, kalau misalnya tidak ada acceptance dulu dirinya. Jadi kayak search for something yang accept your opinion dulu, baru kayak argue with yourself. Kalau misalnya sudah ada orang yang agree with myself, agree with my opinion, then what should I do? Like, kayak terus akhirnya be realistic. Apakah apakah hanya mau terus-terusan dealing with the emotions of not being satisfied, atau kayak you want to move forward yourself to things yang lebih more productive dan etc. So I can suggest that. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Kak. Okay, we are still accepting questions. So if you guys have any questions, you guys can type the question or ask directly to Kak Vila. If not, then we can cut it there for the Q&A session.
Hi Kak, can I ask a question?
Oh ya, silahkan.
So maybe this question is a little bit too far from the topic, but I just curious about Kak Vira answer. So we're talking about how society nowadays shape its own beauty standard, but every different place has its own beauty standard, right? And I just want to ask your opinion about beauty standard based on culture. Like for the example, in Mauritania, country in Africa, they have forced fed. So when a woman will marry, their parents will force them to eat more than what a person could handle. So their beauty standard is a fat woman is more beauty than a skinny women. And in Myanmar, about Thailand's Kayan long neck, I'm not sure about that. And the last one is about foot binding in China. That's beauty standard, I think could harm from women itself. So I just want to ask your opinion about that maybe. And thank you.
Thank you, Graciela. I think that's true. Kalau misalnya standards di different cultures are different because it also affected by how their ancestors itu create the beauty upon women. Nah, if you argue kalau misalnya standarnya itu harmful, yes, I agree so much. Kalau misalnya standarnya itu harmful, like you say women are beauty because they are fat, is also still a limitation than a stereotype and a standard that you impose to women that you have to be fat if you want to be beautiful. In China, the small feet is also a standard, and you force people to do not develop their feet. It's also a harmful standard. I think the harm that it perpetuates leads to the discussion that we have right now. Right? Though we have different standards based on cultures, or though we have different standards based on people's personal preferences, those are all still harmful because it creates harm. If you standardize something, means you limit people to not explore other things because you judged and you trap them only on that standard. So however, people argue that that's okay to have beauty standard because anyway, standards in different countries are different based on their cultures, let's say. That's okay to have beauty standard because people's opinion are different. I think kayak though ada a judgment kalau misalnya it's different, it does not negate the harm that it creates in status quo. Jadi kalau misalnya mau argue kalau Y standard is okay, harus juga sensitive to the harm that it creates. Jadi you cannot just blatantly argue kalau standard is okay just because ada diversity of it in status quo, then dismiss the harm yang ada di status quo yang itu created. Jadi misalnya kalau misalnya ternyata orang itu agree untuk ada standard, make sure you also include opposition perspective on you. Kayak I acknowledge, misalnya bilang kayak that's very okay to have these standards because diverse kok, berbeda-beda juga kok di different cultures. Tapi even if walaupun memang misalnya ada harmnya, why harmnya itu tidak terlalu harmful, let's say, atau why harmnya itu masih mitigable, masih bisa dihilangkan, atau kayak why harmnya itu tidak lebih penting dibandingkan satisfaction atau personal preferences yang orang-orang punya. Jadi kayak make sure you engage opposition argumentation dan respond to it. Jangan hanya dismiss dan bilang kayak ya oke, ada harm tapi ada juga benefit. Well, that's not a meaningful discussion dan itu bukan discourse yang saling engaging akhirnya. Okay, thank you. Sudah question.
Okay, thank you, Kak. Now we have last question from Nurul Makfirah. Is the skill included in one of the standard beauty? And what's your opinion about the choice between being beautiful or improving our skill?
I think there are some people yang include standard on beauty, tapi there are some people yang mentok, yang perceive mentok kalau beauty itu adalah physical appearance saja, bukan kayak your skills, etc. Tapi my opinion on being beautiful or improving skills, I think it can run at the same time. You can feel beautiful and you can have good capacity, good skills. Tapi itu juga harus realistic to society out there. Kalau misalnya ternyata di society tidak bisa run at the same time, tapi that doesn't matter. You have to focus on yourself first. Kayak what you want to achieve, what you want to be your standard. Kalau misalnya you feel that you're confident and you feel that you can improve your skills too, and your capacity is good, then go for it. Kayak prove it to society. Like the only way untuk misalnya prove to society kalau beauty doesn't matter adalah dengan proof kalau misalnya though their judgment of you is that you are not beautiful, tapi if you are skillful, then they will acknowledge you. I think kayak that's the tipping point that we have in our society. Jadi I think the harm of still focusing on beauty dan kayak orang-orang yang maksa taruh skills dalam elemen of beauty standard, menurutku kayak it's still harmful karena akhirnya kalian jadikan lagi skills sebagai elements of beauty. Jadi kayak akhirnya beauty yang fokus on physical appearance akhirnya diverse lagi on kayak beauty yang fokus ke skillsmu. Meanwhile, kayak not all people agree on that. Jadi akhirnya kayak discussion tarik-tarikan kayak this is what I think, that is what I think, that is not true. Akhirnya kayak tarik-tarikan. So it's better untuk kayak just decide what you want dan kayak prove it to society. Okay, thank you for the question.
Okay, thank you, Kak. I think we can cut it here for the Q&A session. And before we close, we would like to have a virtual photoshoot or documentation. So I would kindly ask everybody to turn on the camera and smile at the camera so our operator could take photos. So please turn on the camera if you guys can. Okay, we will start in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Got a photo? Oh yeah, once again. Smile, everyone. Get a photo? Once again. Okay, thank you. Well, okay, with that, we have come to the close of our workshop today. Once again, I want to say thank you so much for our speaker, Kak Vila, for the interesting talks. And thank you so much for everyone that have participated in this workshop. And we hope to see you guys again in our future events. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you,
Assalamualaikum
guys.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye, guys.